This is KGW News at Sunrise.
President Biden coming to the Pacific Northwest later today. First stop, Portland, then it's on to Seattle. And while he's here, he's going to address how his infrastructure plan will impact both states. Plus,
the murder trial of romance novelist Nancy Brophy continues today. She's accused of killing her husband almost 4 years ago. The defense is expected to start its case this morning. We'll have the latest testimony from those who knew the couple coming up.
And tomorrow is Earth Day, so that makes this Earth Day Eve. How about this plan for Earth Day Eve? Drink some beer and help maintain local hiking trails while you do.
Cheers!
On this morning's KGW Good Energy Week segment, we'll let you know about a few local businesses that are giving back to environmental nonprofits and how you can support them. We're talking about businesses like Breakside Brewery.
Friend of the show. We talk about them every now and again. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Mother Nature is going to let us know she is out there today, getting a little noisy.
You know, it's very tough where we live to go. We're definitely going to see thunderstorms today, but I will say I will be surprised at the end of the day if we haven't seen at least 1 or 2 thunderstorms move across the valley at some point. So here we go. Right now, the radar, well, we've got some heavy showers over the Coast Range. In the darkness of the night and the early morning, these showers have been weakening as they migrate eastward and kind of fall apart over the Willamette Valley. So Portland, Salem, Vancouver, pretty quiet right now. 49 degrees. There are some breaks in the cloud cover out there. And yesterday, remember the tale was we were going to have steady rain for the most part between about 10 and 4 p.m. That came true, and that kind of made everything non-stormy, right? Kind of stabilized the atmosphere. But today, sun breaks, a scattered pattern gives us a much better chance to have some thunderstorms. 53 at noon, 56 when the kids get out of school, and we'll be keeping an eye for possible stormy skies. Back to you.
Rob, thank you. In just a couple of hours, President Biden will leave Washington, D.C. for a trip to Portland. It's a short visit, and it shouldn't have a big impact on traffic.
We have Devin Haskins live for us this morning at PDX. So, Devin, when the president lands here, he's ready to talk about his infrastructure bill.
Yeah, the president expected to leave Joint Base Andrews around 7:40 this morning, which should put him here in Portland early this afternoon. President Biden will head to the Portland Yacht Club for a private fun west of the airport off Marine Drive. He'll also deliver a speech about his $1 trillion infrastructure package on the airport grounds. A deputy press secretary at the White House telling KGW that President Biden will be shining a spotlight on the seismic upgrades to a runway at PDX. This trip to the Northwest is one of several recently for the president. He was in Iowa and North Carolina last week and earlier this week in New Hampshire.
You know, he likes getting out on the road. That's really important to him. Obviously, between COVID and dealing with Russia and Ukraine and other things that are happening around the country, his travel has been a little more limited in the last couple of weeks, but he's hitting the road.
This visit comes amid sinking poll numbers for the president with soaring inflation and record high gas prices. Several polls show his approval rating down around 40%.
He's going to try to paint a rosy picture that his infrastructure bill is the cure-all, the save-all, the end-all, be-all to all of the crises and the problems that Oregon residents are dealing with, but it's not.
Now, again, this trip shouldn't cause any major traffic headaches. Portland police say there should be some road closures near the airport, but one of those doesn't include any freeways or Northeast Airport Way. Now, if you are flying this afternoon, you may experience some minor delays as the president lands or takes off. After this trip, he'll head up to Seattle to talk about lowering prescription drug prices. Back to you guys.
Devin, thank you. And over the next 5 years, Oregon and Washington are set to receive billions from the president's infrastructure bill. Alma McCarty gives us a closer look at possible plans for that money.
On the last report card from the American Society of Civil Engineers a few years back, the state of Washington got a C. The state of Oregon, a C-. Other states didn't fare much better as our infrastructure nationally ages. The $1.2 trillion Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act aims to make those repairs. Washington will get around $1.8 billion for road projects. Oregon, around $1.2 billion over 5 years. Projects like the Interstate 5 bridge replacement and the Rose Quarter Highway redesign project, likely candidates for federal dollars.
You know, I got my last major objective that had escaped me since the Obama administration done this year. Not exactly in the form I wanted, but we got it done.
Congressman Peter DeFazio, chair of the House Committee on Transportation, sponsored the bill and spoke with our Laurel Porter on Straight Talk earlier this year.
A huge increase in funding for America's deteriorated infrastructure, roads, bridges, highways, transit, rail, ports.
Oregon will get millions to improve public transit, to make systems resilient to earthquakes and natural disasters, to ensure clean drinking water for all communities, to expand electric vehicle charging stations, and to help more Oregonians get broadband coverage. Several million will also go to protect against wildfires and against cyber attacks. Alma McCarty, KGW News.
And we will carry the president's arrival, speech, and departure right here on KGW. We'll also stream it on the KGW mobile app and on our YouTube channel. You can read more about President Biden's visit on KGW.com and check out our story about the history of presidential visits to the Rose City.
In other local news today, the defense is scheduled to begin its case in the murder trial of romance novelist Nancy Crampton Brophy. She's accused of shooting and killing her husband Daniel at the Oregon Culinary Institute, where he was an instructor, and Nancy is expected to take the stand at some point during the trial. Yesterday, state prosecutors arrested their case. We heard from some more friends of the Brophy family. The couple's hairstylist, you see her right there. She said that she was actually reading about the shooting in the newspaper, and she said when she asked Nancy questions about Daniel's death, Nancy told her that the garage door that leads into the Oregon Culinary Institute was open at the time of his murder. But she said Nancy didn't elaborate any further on that.
Well, I gave her a hug and told her how sorry I was, and I was really sad. Obviously, I'm sorry. I asked, what happened? Because again, there'd been nothing in the paper.
Both the state and the defense point to that open garage door as access for the killer. The defense suggesting it was someone else, though, not Nancy. We'll continue to update you on the latest in this trial here on the air, and we're also streaming the trial online at KGW.com.
The FBI is putting up $15,000 to help solve a Portland homicide. Jamir Brown was 18 years old when he was gunned down on New Year's Eve in 2020. Investigators say he and his friend were sitting in a car near Woodlawn Park in Northeast Portland watching YouTube videos when they were shot. Authorities suspect Brown may have been mistaken for a gang member.
And we're going to offer this money out there. We're going to plead with people, look, if you have information, call law enforcement, call Crime Stoppers of Oregon, who we've partnered with in this entire endeavor.
It's just like his life just got taken away, and he's not here anymore, and it's very hard. Every day I wake up like he's not here. Very, very hard.
That was Jamir's mom. In all, the FBI is offering close to $25,000 for information about Brown's murder.
A Clackamas County judge says Oswego Lake should be open to the public. For years, access to that lake in Lake Oswego has been restricted to people who live on the lake. The judge's ruling, though, doesn't immediately open the lake up to the public, but it is a sharp reversal in a lawsuit that's been working its way through the court system now for more than a decade. Most of the lake is surrounded by private property, but there are 2 public parks on it. In 2012, the city of Lake Oswego passed an ordinance that prohibited people from accessing the lake from those parks, but petitioners have argued that the lake itself is public. We talked to one Lake Oswego resident who said he thinks making the lake public is the way to go.
Most Lake Oswegans, most Oregonians, didn't have access to the lake, and yet it was the symbol of Lake Oswego. Anyway, but now it's appropriate, so that's great. obviously it's going to take a while for that fact to sink in.
A second phase of the trial is scheduled for July, so it's still not clear yet how soon official access rules could change there.
Supporters of bringing a commuter ferry to Portland continue to push their vision despite some significant setbacks. Organizers of the nonprofit Friends of Frog Ferry spoke out near City Hall trying to convince commissioners to get behind this project.
Ferries are best practice, they're proven, and they're out there across our country. So this isn't new, this isn't cutting edge, this is about catching up, really. And for a river city, we know that ferries are incredibly cost efficient.
Last week, commissioners turned down a $225,000 bailout request. The vote comes after TriMet accused the nonprofit of inappropriate spending and billing, but Frog Ferry denied that claim.
All right, back to Rod Hill, who joins us now in the studio. Rod, you were saying earlier, just about 10 minutes ago, you would be surprised if we didn't see some thunderstorms through the valley this afternoon.
Now, I remind you, I've been surprised before. But I think we get a thunderstorm in the valley today. Remember, this is scattered stuff, so that does not mean, oh boy, there's going to be a thunderstorm where you are. But if you go from Vancouver down through Salem, I think the odds are good there will be at least a couple develop. We have a big low spinning out here. And see 1, 2, little 3 balls of clouds, these disturbances rotating in. Now, the last big one came through overnight that brought us some pretty good rain. There was lightning near shore, but nothing actually detected inland. That batch of rain is now up into Seattle. And the strongest moisture flow today, where things really look incredibly active, is actually down along the California border and even southward into California. But with that said, here we are. We have very heavy rain showers, a couple of them over the Coast Range. It's still dark outside, and these have been weakening as they bounce off of the mountains down to the flats of the valley, but scattered showers at any time in the forecast today. 9 o'clock this morning, here's Futurecast, scattered stuff. Once the sun gets going and we get into the afternoon, here's what could be a thunderstorm migrating up along the West Hills. Again, yesterday it was a steady precip pattern. That tends to stabilize things. Really tough to get stormy weather when it's just raining constantly. But today, it's a scattered pattern with some breaks, and we're still unstable. We still have fairly cold air aloft. And I think the odds are good we'll get some thunder out of some of these heavier rain cells migrating through. Here's several of them at 4 p.m. that could be thunderstorms. Here's even one this evening at 9:30 down in Salem. We will be starting off dry weather tomorrow. Here we are Friday at 8:30. But there could be a few showers develop tomorrow afternoon. No storm chance tomorrow, and much of tomorrow I think will be dry, and then the weekend still looks pretty nice. All right, early morning numbers. Everybody's above freezing. Yep, 36 in Burns Bend, John Day. We're in the 40s here on the west side. 46 Newport, good morning. 47 Salem, good morning to you. 7-day forecast numbers. A quick reminder that there could still be some damaging winds with isolated thunderstorms if they do develop today. So we'll keep an eye on that. Otherwise, tomorrow it's a PM shower threat. We start to warm up and dry out overall. 60. Saturday still great. Mostly sunny, 65. Sunday, how much sun do we get versus cloud cover? But I think overall it's a good dry day, 64 degrees. We'll give that a too.
Let me add mine.
Really?
I love that.
Oh, I got it right here.
Not to you, the forecast.
Oh,
what?
Yeah.
Thank you, Rod. Hey, stay with us. It is a KGW Good Energy Week, and today we're giving you concrete ways to help out local environmental nonprofits. So how'd you like to help rip up concrete around Portland and plant trees and native plants there instead? We have more on the movement next.